helps if I turn on the mic. Rigaroga here. How are you? Howdy meeps. I am going to be checking out for the very first time the it's Expedition, the role-playing card game, and I had ordered the deluxe version of this quite a while ago, and I'm gonna check it out now. Full disclosure, I did actually run through it to see like if I could figure out how to actually do it, but we'll go ahead and just jump in and take a look. And the deluxe edition has the core set, the horror, which a horror expansion, and a sci-fi, the future expansion. And in addition to those, I also grabbed a booster that's available via Drive-Thru RPG. One of the cool things about this particular game is that it is it's open source, and the cards you could print and play your own set. But if you want the all of them printed out, which is actually probably save you a lot of time and stuff to get this whole set, is to get the cards as they're already printed. And one of the cats is in the background coughing. Come on, get rid of the hairball now. Jeez, that's Marmar. Marmar. Anyhow, so the deluxe edition that was kickstarted and comes with all of those things, and then there's foam inserts, so you can. There's actually room for tons more. It's got magnetic pieces in there that hold the top on, which is pretty cool. And it's got a basic sort of introduction little piece of paper. It's really lightweight as far as like the number of rules and things that you're reading. It's almost a little bit weird how little information there is, but this little booklet does give you sort of a good idea of what each of the cards are and what they do. And here's an example table layout and all that sort of stuff. So it also comes with a just 120-sided die for rolls and 2 sets of clips, dark clips and light clips. And then there's a whole bunch of the cards, and they're set up for various things. There's helper cards, which are just like a primer for what the oh, that's really hard to read, isn't it? Okay, anyhow, it's a primer on all the different symbols on the various cards and things. So those are useful. So we've got helper cards, and I'll go ahead and set these out. And then we've got adventurer cards, which are a whole deck of all kinds of different player characters you can play with their health status. And then each one has a name and starting abilities. And you get the starting abilities based on a deck. Wait, why is that so bright? Maybe that'll help. Will that help any? Okay, maybe that'll help a little bit. And so this determines which decks your abilities come out of, and so we'll discover those. But we've got adventurers, and then the persona cards, which are from the horror set. And then each one of these is kind of an ability kind of deal. Oops, that is not what that is. That is a skill card. What it is it's a scale, and you gain or lose persona, kind of like in Call of Cthulhu, where you gain or lose sanity or whatever. So you can gain or advantages or penalties based on your persona. And each, there's a whole deck of them with different sort of stuff that you would get as you play. Skills are from the sci-fi set. I haven't exactly figured these out yet. I haven't used them yet, but we'll figure those out. And those are additional sort of sci-fi abilities. And then there's a deck of loot that goes from 1 to 4, and there is only one loot 4 card in the entire deck. But we'll see what those are. And then here are your skill decks. Influence comes from the horror deck. So Influence is a deck of abilities that a lot of them have you working in coordination with a different player. As a solo, so I'm going to be doing this solo. So as a solo player, I'm actually going to be playing 2 characters at once, but doing all of the stuff myself. So let's see. So we've got, so there's magic is one of the deck of abilities. So magic abilities. And then there are melee abilities. Melee abilities. And then there's a deck of music for your bard-like character. Let's see. Okay. So then there's music abilities. And the tutorials actually suggest not using someone with music. So I'm guessing that the music is kind of more of a complicated dealy bob. As you start to play, you get used to how it works and stuff and start moving in. And then there's ranged abilities. And I think the last one, yeah, is from the sci-fi. So the influence was from horror, and then tech is from, I assume, from the sci-fi bonus. And then the next set are all of the different sorts of creatures that you're going to meet. Let me go ahead and put this box out of the way really quick. So let's see, we have Fey creatures, and each of these has, the cards have 2 sides, so the monster cards have 2 sides. This is for sort of a generic, any Fey creature, you can create your own, and then just use the clip to give it as many hit points as there are. Or there's the other side, which has a certain set number of hit points, illustration, name, and some different abilities, including a surge ability, which is kind of like a special boss attack that some of the creatures have. So this is Fey creatures. And then we have horror creatures. So those are horrors. And then we have synths. And undeads. And beasts. Now the of Wyrms and Giants booster pack that I got from DriveThruRPG and I've added in, those were all beasts, so they got added to the beast table, the beast deck. And then the last one is bandits. And so those are the current categories of monsters that you might run into. So I have those set up all along, I guess. Well, here, let's move these out of the way. Put loot there, and then we'll... Okay. So we'll get the helper card. I'll keep one out because I am still really new at this, so we'll figure it out as we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and start. And so that's going to be our setup for now, and then I'll pull cards out of that. And on the side of the screen, you can actually see the app that is, you can get it for Android and Apple. And then this is actually just being run in a browser, so you can run it using Chrome or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to just hold down to say that there's one player. And then I'm currently on the tutorials, so I did this, but I'm going to go ahead and run through it, and this will be the first adventure for Expedition. So we're going to go ahead and pick that. Your First Adventure by Todd Medema, who's one of the primary creators. It's kid-friendly, 20-30 minutes, 1 to 6 players. There's a little bit of drama. It's in English, and it was last updated in January of 17. And this is an official quest. And there are actually like all kinds of settings and stuff, so you can pick which games and expansions that you get. And I actually have the experimental stuff turned on. And they're working with another RPG, which is in Kickstarter. I think it's still in Kickstarter right now, called Scarred Lands. And so they're going to be creating some ways to play Scarred Lands using the lightweight role-playing system that this uses. Now, one thing is interesting is that there is currently no way to select that you have the booster pack. So I don't know, but you can so if you get the booster pack, it really isn't set up for the solo play because there's no quests written for it yet, I guess. But you can actually substitute it in for another creature of that same tier. And you can select a bunch of different things. There are some music and sounds and stuff in the background. You can also select to auto roll, so your dice are automatically rolled, so you don't need to do with the actual dice. But let's go ahead and play, and this will actually help us set up. So we're going to separate the cards into piles, which I did, and then we're going to. Oh, I guess it's a little bit off that way. Okay, well, let's do that. So for solo player, select 2 adventurers of your choice and set them face up. So I'm going to grab this adventurer deck. And last time I just picked a couple. It suggests not to use players with music abilities. We do not recommend using adventurers with music abilities. So let's just sort of shuffle this out and see what we get. We'll play 2 characters. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I did not just randomly select. I think I selected like 3 out and then picked the 2 I wanted to use or something like that. Anyhow, so let's go ahead and we'll select. We'll do a draft, which is a technique for that we'll learn as we go. So we're gonna. So there's 3 different adventurers so far. There's the Befuddled Mage, which is all magic. So the Befuddled Mage has 6 magic, which might be fun. The Wild Hunter has 4 ranged and 2 magic, and this is the numbers is how many ability cards they start with. And then the Hungry Chef is magic and ranged. So we're gonna put the Hungry Chef back. I'm kind of feeling, well, that's a lot of magic though. Let's see. So the next 3, nope, music. So Disgraced Scientist with 4 magic and 2 tech. is the other one. So what do you think? Should I do 6 magic, Befuddled Mage, and a Disgraced Scientist? Or Wild Hunter? I don't know what to do. Let's do Wild Hunter. Let's do Befuddled Mage and Wild Hunter. Okay, so these are the two. So we're going to go with the Wild Hunter. Starting abilities, 4 ranged and... 4 ranged and 2 magic. And then we're going to go with the Befuddled Mage, which is starting ability of 6 magic. So this is actually going to be new because I didn't play a character with magic last time that I played through. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on the health counters. And you just clip them on. And you just clip it on onto this health tracker at the bottom and just highlight the 12 that's right there at the bottom of the character for the 12 health. And we'll do this one more for the other character. Okay, so we got the Befuddled Mage and the Wild Hunter. So the next thing we do is, since we have horror, we're going to go ahead and draw a persona card each. Confident, play the top ability from your ability deck as though it were a natural 20. Arrogant and temperamental. Take 2 damage for every failed party ability this round. Max 6. Wow, that could really hurt. And then the next one is greedy and ambitious. You may play up to 3 abilities this round. Exploitative. You must use another adventurer's loot if possible. Okay, so let's see. We'll go with Wild Hunter is arrogant and the Befuddled Mage is greedy. So then we'll put on counters on the sides here. So along the side of the persona card is you can see there's min and max and then base, and so as we gain persona points, it'll scroll up and down that, and that's how we gain those advantages or disadvantages. The advantages or penalties. And then the next thing is we clip the health tracker. I already did that. Abilities. Draw starting abilities listed on your adventurer. For 1 to 2 and returning players, draft pick abilities. For each ability, draw 3, keep 1, and return the other 2 to the bottom of the deck. So let's go for the hunter. And so let's see. The first one is ranged. So we'll do 4 ranged. Go ahead and give this a little shuffly-do. I think I used range last time that I did when I did my test run. My idea of this is to do a series and just keep going as I work through all the little quests and everything. Okay, so there's 3. So we're going to draft 3. And so we have long shot, which requires an 11 and deals 5 damage, which is pretty darn good. A dodge attack is 8, deals 1 damage and take no damage this round. Or sense the wind, draw and play an extra ability next round. Tempted to go to sense with the wind, but I'm going to go with dodge attack. I'm going to go with dodge attack. And we'll draft 3 more. Oh, and I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. So we've got anticipate, split shot was good. I got that last time, and trick shot deal 3 damage, but split shot you can attack 2. Anticipate, place this card on an enemy next time it surges. Adventurers may resolve their abilities before the surge. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna go with trick shot, which gives me 3 damage. And then the next one, oops, I did 4. Hold on. Withdraw, regain 3 health, or rapid fire, deal 2 damage and play an ability from your hand. That sounds good. Or arc shot, deal 3 damage. I'm going to go with rapid fire, because then that means I get an extra ability to play. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we got one more range to pick out. So we're going to draft these next 3. So focused gaze, +4 to your next roll. Ooh, that's pretty good. And you only have to roll greater than or equal to a 4 to get it. Reflex, deal 2 damage next time the target is damaged this round. Play the top card from your ability deck. Or Flaming Arrow, deal 4 damage. If the target has 1 health remaining after Flaming Arrow, deal 1 damage. That's pretty cool too. But I'm kind of thinking this focused gaze might be the one. I'm going to go with that. Oh, maybe I'll go with reflex, because that doesn't directly do damage. Okay, I'm going to go with reflex instead. Okay, so let's put back the range deck, and let's go for magic. So we're going to draft out 3 cards. So I haven't looked at any of these yet. So we've got Phase Shift, which is 8. Regain 2 health and deal 1 damage for each ability type in your hand, which for him would be 2. Shockwave is 12. All enemies deal 2 damage. Ooh, that's nice. Soulfire with a 10. Deal 1 damage plus 1 damage for each enemy and adventurer at 0 health. I'm not going to go with that one. Deal 2 damage isn't... I mean, dealing it to area of effect is pretty cool. But I think I'm going to go with Phase Shift. It's only an 8 to be successful, and then I regain 2 health and deal 1 damage for each ability type in your hand. So we're going to go with that. And then we'll draft another set. Lightning Bolt is a 10, deal 4 damage. Magic Missile is 5, deal 2 damage. That's pretty good. Phase Weapon, deal 2 damage of the class of your choice. Ooh, that's sweet. I'm going to go with Magic Missile. Okay, so that's all of the... main abilities for that guy. Now, the next one we're going to do is we're going to actually draw 1 influence from the horror deck. So we're going to draft an influence. Oh, here, let me shuffle these again. Okay. So we've got, darn it, I had got 4 of them. Okay, so we've got Declare Target, which is an 8, gain 1 persona. Adventurers that damage the target this round also gain 1 persona. Bastion of Will, you lose 1 less persona from all enemies and abilities this round. And Disengage. Return to base persona if the target was at men persona last round. Do not suffer its effects. I guess I'll go with Declare Target to try and get everyone's persona up. Okay, so Befuddled Mage. Let's see what we can get. 2, 3. Ice Shard. 7 deals 3 damage. That looks nice. Ignite is 6. Target takes 2 extra damage from all other abilities this round. If they take no damage this round, they take 1 damage. Imbue. +5 to a target's first roll this round. Okay, we're going to go for Ice Shard. Fireball. It's an 11, though. Healing Mist. Adventurers gain 2 health. Or deal 2 damage. Whoa, look at Fireball. Actually, if you roll under 11, you take 2 damage. So you actually, the Fireball actually fireballs you and your party. That's really cool. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to go for healing because I don't think I've had any healing yet. Let's draft out another 3. Let's see. So that was 2. So we need 4 more. Let's see. So we've got Rayburn, which is 11. Defensive Ward. Enemies deal half damage. Or Cold Snap, deal 2 damage. The target takes 1 extra damage from all other abilities this round. I'm going to go for Cold Snap. That's 3. Let's see. Arc Lightning. Clone. The target plays their first ability 1 extra time. Play 2 abilities from your hand. We're going to go with Arc Lightning. Deal 2 damage. You play Arc Lightning on a new target not yet targeted, but you may play Arc Lightning on a new target not yet targeted by lightning this round. Does that mean you play it again? I think you play it again. Okay, well that's cool. We'll definitely go with that. So let's see. That's 4. Soulfire, Arcane Wind, regain 2 health. All other adventurers regain 1 health. Or Blizzard, deal 1 damage to all adventurers and enemies. Or Soulfire, deal 1 damage plus 1 damage for each enemy and adventurer at 0 health. I guess I'll go Arcane Ward. Okay, so that's 5, so I need 1 more. So Phase Weapon, Lightning Bolt, or Shockwave. I'm going to go for Phase Weapon. Deal 2 damage of the class of your choice. And then we're going to grab an Influence. Conscript. Target takes your damage this round. After reductions, you gain 1 persona. Calm. Adventurers below base persona gain 1 persona. And Tactical Plan. Gain 1 persona, gain 1 additional for each enemy that takes damage this round. I'm going to go for Calm, I think. Okay, and then, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle these up. Okay, so those are all shuffled up, and we're gathering the D20, and I've got my helper card to help me out, so we'll go to the next thing. Boink! Your adventure begins. One player should read this page out loud and then pass the device to the next player, which is me. So I'll pass it. I'll read it out loud and then I'll pass it to me. All right, recruits, everyone line up. The grizzled town guardsman marches up and down the line, inspecting the uniforms and proper posture of the new guards. You and your friends steal glances between one another as the old guards. I'm a befuddled mage and a wild hunter. I'm not sure that I would be in the guard. I'm just a thought. Anyhow, as the old guardman approaches you, standing as tall as you can to mask the first day jitters. All right, then, follow me. He gestures toward the guardhouse, striding quickly to its entrance. This is an instruction. You'll see how these. You'll see these throughout quests, providing helpful tips and instructions for you to follow. Adventuring. I've split you into 2 groups, the guardsman announces. He reads off a list of names, and you're relieved to find that you and your friend have luckily ended up in the same group. Expedition is a lightweight game. It is focused on having fun instead of memorizing rules. For example, during a round of combat, you can resolve abilities in any order. You can even change the order of abilities after they've been played. The quest. First group, he gestures in your general direction. Since you were the least disheveled and embarrassing of your peers, you will choose your task for the day. You can either clean up the guardhouse or help quell the rowdy fairy folk in the village. At this point, your party should decide which option you'd like to pick. Your choices will affect your adventure, so choose wisely. There's no single way to win. Each quest has its own goals and missions that will be revealed as you play. We'll take the fairy folk or we'll clean up. Let's take the fairy folk. That sounds more fun. A fairly big problem. Har, har, har. Figured you'd try to play the hero on day 1. Here's the deal. A wisp and a mushroom are causing a commotion at the market. As members of the town watch, you may use whatever force is necessary to bring peace to the town. Here, take this to help you. The guardsman hands you some equipment from the guard supplies. Draw 2 Tier 1 loot cards face up. So here's loot Tier 1. And we can distribute them as we see fit. But we can pass them, we can give loot to other players at any time, and playing loot during combat does not count as an action and can be used at any time unless stated otherwise, even after you've used an ability. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw 2. And that is actually 2. So I got hardtack and ice shard. So hardtack is a cool little thing. You can actually use it to heal one target for 4 health, or you can use it as a ranged attack of 4. Single use it anytime. So you can use it. You can eat it to heal, or you can throw it at their head and cause them damage. Ice shard, tier 1 loot. Use single use anytime. Deal 1 target 3 magic damage. So that's a pretty sweet one. So we'll put that in our loot stack, a little stack of loot that I can use at any time, and then we'll go to the next thing. The market. You make your way to the market. The guardsman wasn't kidding about a commotion. You see floating magical mushrooms and wisps flying around, upsetting stalls and running into people. The situation is bad. Bread lies broken on the ground, merchants are mad, tea leaves are trodden upon, squashes are squashed. Consider your options. Try to intimidate the fairies, arrest the fairies, use force to subdue the fairies. I think just they're being pretty bad. Let's just go ahead and, well, let's try and intimidate first, shall we? We're gonna stomp in. You march up to them, a hand on the hilt of your newly acquired sword. As guardsmen of the town watch, we demand you stop disturbing the peace. And they ignore you. You try again. Stop! You yell as loudly as you can. Nothing. You have to try a different strategy. Okay, let's arrest the fairies. Oh, all right. Ruin the fun, but we're not done without a fight. Not so fast. Okay, a magical fight. You're about to enter combat for the first time. This app will guide you through each round. The app will tell you which enemies to draw, along with their class deck icon on the back of the black enemy cards. The back of the cards can be used to create duplicates of enemy cards and create your own custom enemies in GM's Corner. GM's Corner is the using this system to run like a more traditional tabletop RPG game with other players and one person being the GM. The back, I already read that. To win, you must defeat all enemies. If all adventurers are knocked out, the battle is lost, but you may still be able to complete the quest. The app will tell you when enemies surge, which triggers the surge ability listed on enemy cards, which is, it's basically a special attack. Okay, draw enemies. Draw a will-o'-the-wisp and a magic mushroom. And I think they're probably on top. Yeah, there they are. Will-o'-wisp and a magic mushroom. Okay, so now we're going to grab the brighter little token snap thingies. And we're going to give them 6 hit points each. Well, we give them as many hit points as there are on the cards, and they both happen to have 6s. So now a will-o'-wisp is a creature, is one of the Fae, and so this is its card, and it's an illustration on it, and it has a description. It's a tier 1 Fae, +1 damage from music, surge. All adventurers and enemies take 3 damage, including the wisp, which is pretty sweet because it damages itself. And then here's the magic mushroom. Is a tier 1 Fae, +1 damage from music, apparently. Yeah. And a surge is -4 to all rolls this round, which is pretty awful. Okay. Draw and put the tokens. Okay. Here we go. Next. Prepare for combat. Solo play. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle. Shuffle these up. I think I already did shuffle, but we'll go ahead and shuffle again. And then we'll draw the top 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's one of each. Nice. And then we're going to draw for the Befuddled Mage. Oh no! How many did I lose? That's 4, 7. Oh, I still have them all. Okay, that's good. So there's my play deck. We're gonna okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, all 3 magic. Okay. Oh, stop. Oh, I wasn't supposed to look. Okay, so anyhow, so that's that. So we've got those going. Solo play. Play as both adventurers, keeping each of their draw and discard piles separately, which will be fine. And shuffle your ability draw pile. Keep abilities played in this combat in a separate discard pile. If you run out of ability cards to draw, shuffle your cards into a new draw pile and then continue drawing. Pre-draw your hand of 3 abilities face down from your draw pile. Do not look at these cards until you start the timer. Play quickly. Start the timer, play 1 ability from your hand, and then place your finger on the screen. When all fingers are down, the timer stops. Act fast. If the timer runs out, you'll take more damage. So, it is really quick. So we're going to start the timer. Oops. We're going to start the timer and look. We're going to do a magic missile. And then we got 16 seconds. Ice shard. Okay, we're done. And then I got to click. Oh. Whew. Okay. Now, so the horror. So we do persona effects, which I think we're all good. We're fine. We're going to roll for each ability. None of these abilities stack, so we're just going to go ahead and roll. So I'm going to roll for the Wild Hunter's Magic Missile. And that's a 7, so that is a success. I had to roll a 5 or above, so we're going to deal 2 damage to Magic Mushroom. 1, 2. And then we're going to do the Ice Shard, so I need to roll a 7 or above. And I did not. That was a 4. So that was not a success. So those are discarded. Resolving your abilities in any order. You may change the resolution order, discard abilities you resolve this round, put unplayed abilities back into your draw pile before shuffling. Okay, so the discard pile doesn't reshuffle in. That's when I did my sample thing, my trial. I was shuffling the discard deck back in as well, but that apparently is not how we do it. And modifiers, and that is not true, so we have no modifiers. So let's just go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, so resolve damage. All adventurers take 1 damage. Okay, so we'll go ahead and give 1 damage to each. And there are 2 1-tier creatures, so that's tier sum remaining is 2. And then there are 2 adventurers, so that's 2 remaining, and so we're good. So we'll go to next. And then we're going to shuffle again and draw for our next combat round. Okay, so let's go for 3. And then we'll shuffle our other character. So it's really interesting that the influence is more interpersonal. And then I'm really curious to see, I haven't done any of the skills cards yet because that's the sci-fi version. So the next tutorial is specifically about the horror. And then the third tutorial is specifically about the future. So we'll see how those go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've got my pre-drawn ability cards. Let's go ahead and start the timer. And 19 seconds. Reflex, trick shot, or dodge attack. We're going to do reflex. And phase weapon. I think that was thunder. But it was really quick. That might have been train. It's hard to tell. I get some really interesting noises. I don't know if you could hear it. So we're going to go ahead and roll and resolve. So let's go ahead and roll and resolve reflex first. So we need a 7 or above. And we got an 8, so just barely. So we're going to deal 2 damage, and then the next time this target is damaged this round, play the top card of your ability deck. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 to the Magic Mushroom. And then I'm going to do Phase Weapon from the Befuddled Mage and try to do some damage. Need to get a 7 or above. 15, so we definitely did that. Deal 2 damage of your choice. I don't need any particular... Oh, well, I'll do... it doesn't matter. I'll do music damage, which is a +1, so that actually takes the Magic Mushroom down to 0. And then Reflex card allows me to play the top card from my ability deck from this. So we're going to do Rapid Fire. Deal 2 damage and play an ability from your hand. So let's go ahead and roll 7. And I did not succeed, so that sucks. So we'll go ahead and discard those, and then put the unused cards back in. And we'll resolve and discard and modifiers. Okay, we're good. And so we're actually going to reduce the tier by 1 because one of the monsters, there's only 1 monster left at tier 1, so that's 1. And we're going to go next, and now we're going to shuffle. Oh, wait, shoot. 1 damage. I missed that. Okay, 1 damage. So we're both down to 10. Okay, there we go. Boy, I'm glad you can go back on that. That's that's really good. Okay, so let's see. We don't have a lot of... Okay, so let's take those three. Not a lot of these. We're going to have to reshuffle soon. Okay, I don't know. Let's do those three. Okay, and I almost looked at them again. Okay, so we're going to start the timer and then look at what we've got. Deal 3 damage. We're going to deal 3 damage. And then we're going to deal 2 damage. Ah! Oh no, and an enemy surge. Okay, so enemy surge. An enemy surge occurs. Immediately follow the surge action listed on all remaining encounter cards. Some undead surges apply after they've been knocked out. Surge effects happen before abilities. Abilities that apply this round do not affect surges. However, loot may still be used during a surge. I mean, I could. All adventurers and enemies take 3 damage, including the wisp. Oh, let's go ahead and do it. So I could use, see the ice shard, I could do 3 plus 4 is 7 damage. So the loot that I have could do enough damage to destroy the wisp. But let's go ahead and reduce the wisp by 3. 1, 2, 3, down to 3. And we'll do 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And so that's the surge. And now we'll do next. And now we'll resolve these actions. So we're going to go ahead and do trick shot. Actually, I'm going to do cold snap first. And we're going to try to get an 8 or above. And we got a 12, so that's a success. Deals 2 damage, and the target takes 1 extra damage from all other abilities this round. So we're going to go ahead and take 2. 1, 2, which takes them down to 1. And now we're going to do the trick shot. We need a 9 or above. And we got a 13, and that's 3 damage. So we've killed the wisp. And those are discarded, and then these go into the piles. And then we go next. Now, it's interesting because even though the monster cards, they're all gone, I still think I take the 1 damage. So we'll go ahead and take the 1 damage. And so both of them are down to 6. And now our victory is tier 0. So we've actually gotten to... we've removed all of the monsters. And now victory. Reshut. And so you shuffle all of your ability cards back into your draw pile. And health to full. And if the persona had changed, we'd preserve that, but I actually didn't get any different persona. So we're going to go ahead and store. So those are the characters. And then we're going to remove the monsters back to the deck. And then we have our, we still have our loot. So I don't know if I keep that for the next game. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep that for the next game. But that's it. That is as quick and simple as that is. I mean, obviously it was the tutorial, but that's how it works. Unless I got it wrong, in which case that's not how it works. So thanks for hanging out with. Oh, well, actually, let's go ahead and do the victory stuff. So with a final hit, the wisp and mushroom collapse to the ground exhausted. All right, you win. We give up. You handcuff them and drag them to the town jail, confident that this will deter any future commotion in the market. I'm impressed. Nice work, says the guardsman. Now for your reward. Your eyes brighten. Will it be new weapons? A bonus? Fame? Fortune? Your reward is that you get to come back here tomorrow and do this all again. The old guardsman laughs derisively at your fallen faces. You weren't expecting praise for doing your job in such a manner, were you? You head home disappointed but determined to impress the head guardsman tomorrow. One day they'll sing of your adventurers in every town of the kingdom. That's all it takes to play Expedition. More quests are available in the app's homepage. At the end of each quest, you can provide feedback to make future Expedition quests even better. If you're feeling adventurous, you can dive into more advanced game modes in Tools section. Don't forget to check out the settings in the top right. From here, you can further customize your gaming experience. Continued in the first expansion, the horror, available at Expedition Game. And there are actually... there are additional expansions. There's the future, and then there's the booster pack with giants and dragons in it. But that is the end of that one. So let's go ahead and rate that quest. Let's give that a 4-star. What was your favorite part? I don't know. I guess a little bit of the humor. That was nice. Let's say nice pace for a tutorial. And we can give the feedback anonymously, but and then you can also actually tip the author, which is really interesting. So it is open source, but there's writing contests or write quests every month, or well, not every month, but whenever they get around to it. And as you write, and if you help develop the open source application, it's on GitHub. You can actually participate in the development of the game and build quests for it, and so there's like this little sort of player economy built in that you can help out. So that's pretty cool. Now, this was one of the tutorials, so I feel a little bit like I already paid. I paid for the deluxe set. I bought the booster so I think I feel justified in not tipping the tutorial quest. But maybe later, if there's a really good quest, we might throw them an extra buck or something like that. But there we go. So learning to adventure, your first adventure. And so the next one is the horror, and then the third one is the future. And then after that, then you can go to you can save and quests that are in progress, and you can also save them for offline use on your phone. And then here is a list of, there are 59 quests for one player with the horror and future expansions. So there are other quests, but these are ones that match my filters. And so there's 59 of them that are already written, and they range from like half an hour to 2 hours, and there are single episodes, or there's like a couple that are a series of 3 different adventures, all kinds of really interesting stuff. So I'll come back to that and do one of those, and then we have a history of the quests that I've done. And then what is this other one? This is GM's Corner. So you can do custom combat, and you can do an example of module to guide your people through, and then there's a framework example for how to do future based quests. So the next time I'll be doing the second tutorial, and thanks for hanging out with me and having fun, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So thanks. Bye.